My English teacher started failing me on every assignment after I started dating her son, and no one would believe it wasn't my fault. I met Blake at a coffee shop in September, 2 weeks into senior year. He was funny, kind, and we clicked immediately. We'd been dating for 3 weeks before he casually mentioned his mom taught at my school. When he said her name was Mrs. Stewart, my chest tightened. She was my AP English teacher, the same teacher who'd written me a glowing recommendation letter just last month for my college applications. Blake said it wouldn't be a problem. His mom was professional. She'd taught students he'd been friends with before, but the next day in class, everything changed. Mrs. Stewart called on me during discussion, and when I answered, she said, "That's incorrect," even though I'd given the exact interpretation we discussed the previous week. She moved my seat to the back corner away from my friends. When I turned in my essay on The Great Gatsby, the one I'd worked on for 2 weeks, she handed it back with a D- and lacks basic comprehension written across the top. I'd never gotten below an A- in English in my entire life. I thought maybe it was a fluke. Maybe I'd misunderstood the assignment. So I worked twice as hard on the next essay, spent hours in the library researching, had my dad proofread it, turned in what I knew was solid work. Another D, this time with plagiarism, written in the margin even though I'd cited everything correctly. When I tried to talk to her after class, she said, "Perhaps AP English is too challenging for you. You should consider dropping down to regular English." My grades were tanking. I had a 4.0 GPA and a full scholarship contingent on maintaining my grades. One bad semester could cost me everything. I told Blake what was happening and he confronted his mom. She told him I was being dramatic and my work genuinely wasn't good enough, that maybe I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. He believed her at first. I started keeping copies of everything. My essays, her feedback, the rubrics she graded against. I compared my work to my best friend Hades, who was getting A's. Our essays were similar quality, but mine had marks like unclear thesis and poor analysis, while hers had excellent work. When I showed my guidance counselor, Mrs. Erkings, my portfolio, she frowned. "This doesn't make sense. Your other teachers say you're one of the strongest students they've ever had. Mrs. Weston said your history essays are college level." She suggested I talk to the principal. Principal Bullard listened to my concerns but said, "Mrs. Stewart has been teaching for 20 years. She's one of our most respected teachers. Are you sure you're not just struggling with the material? AP English is very rigorous." I tried to explain about dating Blake, but he cut me off. "I'm not going to accuse a teacher of bias based on personal relationship. If you want to challenge your grades, you'll need more than feelings." So I got more. I recorded myself reading my essays aloud and had 2 English teachers from other schools listen and grade them blindly. Both gave me A's. I documented every interaction with Mrs. Stewart, every dismissive comment, every time she called on other students but ignored my raised hand, every essay returned with grades that didn't match the rubric. After 6 weeks of this, my scholarship was in jeopardy. I needed at least a B in English to keep it, and I had a D average. My college acceptance could be revoked. My parents couldn't afford tuition without the scholarship. Then Blake found something. His mom kept a journal on her home computer. He wasn't snooping, he said. He'd been looking for a family photo and saw a document titled Blake's Future. Curious, he opened it. Inside were pages about me, how I was from the wrong kind of family, how I distract Blake from his studies, how he could do so much better than someone from my neighborhood, and then the line that made him screenshot everything. "If I can't make them break up, I'll make sure she's too stressed and busy trying to save her grades to be a good girlfriend. Eventually, Blake will see she's not worth it." He brought the screenshots to Principal Bullard himself, demanded a meeting with me, his mom, the principal, and the school board representative. The meeting was brutal. Mrs. Stewart tried to deny it at first, said the journal was taken out of context, that she was just venting as a concerned mother. Then the principal laid out my documentation, the blind grades from other teachers, the comparison to other students' work, the pattern of her behavior that started exactly when I began dating Blake. The school board representative asked to see samples of my work and Mrs. Stewart's grading. She looked at them for 10 minutes in silence. Then she said, "Mrs. Stewart, this is clear retaliation. This student's work is exceptional, and you've been systematically destroying her academic record." Mrs. Stewart's face went red. "She's not good enough for my son. She's going to ruin his chances at a good school. That's not your decision to make, and it's certainly not grounds for academic sabotage." Mrs. Stewart was suspended pending investigation. An independent reviewer was assigned to regrade all my work from the semester. Every single essay came back with an A or A-. My grade was changed to an A for the course. Mrs. Stewart was fired 2 months later for ethics violation. My scholarship was saved, and I'm starting university in the fall. Blake and I are still together, stronger now because of what we went through. His mom doesn't speak to either of us anymore, but Blake says that's probably for the best.